Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. I got a bone to pick today, okay? I got a real chip on my shoulder. Oh, we died as Lazarus last time. We gotta be real cautious here. Maybe. 2HTF, 1E4P. So recently, and I want to be clear, I know we're only like a second into this run, and anytime you say I want to be clear, people are like, oh, it's getting spiced. Okay, hold the front door, dude. I think there is an incredible game plan here. Die as Lazarus. Take Abaddon. Take the HP. Take the pill. Grab the guppy item. Good lord, that's a huge swing. That is an incredible start. Anyway, you're like, this is going to be a spicy one. It's not going to be that spicy. I've been, technologically speaking, living in about 2014 for a long time. I use an old phone. I bought cheap earbuds, plugged it into the headphone jack. Remember when those existed? And I've been content, right? Recently, for my birthday in November, my wife got me a new phone. It has no headphone jack in order to have better battery life. I understand the trade-off. Yeah, it rankles me slightly, but, you know, you get with the times a little bit, you know? Oh, once they pave these roads, we won't be able to take our horses on them anymore. Well, maybe that's a little bit of a logical fallacy, an appeal to absurdity, but that's kind of my bread and butter. Anyway, there's a lot of positives, okay? Bluetooth headphones, you know, I sleep while listening to stuff a lot of the time. They don't get wrapped around like your body, and then, you know, maybe you're like resting on the cord slightly, you roll and your headphones pull out, and then you're like, oh, I was about to fall asleep, but now I gotta, you know, plug these headphones back in. You've restarted the ticker. Also with the gym, to not, oh no, that was not a wise move, but I'll eat it. At the gym, Bluetooth headphones are great because you no longer, you know, a lot of moves I don't know, moves? A lot of exercises, let's just call them what they are. You know, particularly something like a shrug, for example. If you got a phone with a headphone plugged into it in your pocket, you run the risk of pulling it out. Sometimes you pull it out halfway, and, you know, that leads to it playing through the speakers for some reason, which leads to everyone in the gym hearing Dan Giesling, you know, talk about Bloodborne. People are like, what's wrong with this weirdo? And you're like, I don't know, it just does that sometimes. So there's a lot of positives, but there is one big negative. I woke up last night, well, this morning I should say, and there was no paper trail of where my phone or my headphones were. I remember, you know, being on the road to falling asleep. I remember putting my phone on the bed and being like, oh, I'll just rest my eyes for a second. Next thing I know, no headphones in my ear, the phone's not in the bed, the phone's not on the nightstand. Where the heck is it? Well, it turns out, while falling asleep, I guess I maybe I knocked the phone off of my bed, and it slid under the bed somehow via Brownian motion. You know, natural particle collisions. I guess we're just moving on here. Still a pretty good setup. And then my headphones, I just found them, like, wrapped up, basically, like, in the sheets. Well, you might say, NL, your phone wasn't charged? What's going on with that? No, you see, because I live in the 22nd century, I charge my phone wirelessly via one of those, like, charging pads that you can just rest your phone against. Well, NL, why don't you just plug it into the USB-C? Well, that's because our bed has built-in end tables, and the USB-C power charger for this phone, or the brick, is too large, and it would require us to offset our entire bed like another 4 or 5 inches out from the wall. So trust me, I've gone through a lot of inconveniences to set up this incredibly convenient world that I'm living in right now. But I gotta say, the number one thing I miss about, you know, wired headphones and wired power cables, it's not battery life like you might expect. Sometimes that can be frustrating. It's more like if you ever lost your phone, you were like, where am I gonna check? Oh, let's check the charger. There it is. It's tied to the wall via a cool digital rope. Nowadays, if my phone's gone, I gotta be like, oh my god. Anybody else in the same boat where at least once every 3 months you type into like Google, where's my phone? And then it shows you on GPS. It's like, it's in your house, dummy. And then you go, I am sorry, I am an absolute fool. Can you please have it play a noise for me so that I can find it? And then it goes, beep, beep, boop. Boop, beep, beep, boop, beep, boop. And you realize that it was like right next to you the whole time. I will say though, I feel like every device should have that capability. That's a huge convenience of living in the modern era. Anyway, it's a getting used to it period. The other thing is like, I don't know if I have like weird ears or if I'm just too old to understand new technology, but these earbuds, even with the, you know, I've got them on like the largest and best fitting earbud setting. They keep popping out of my ear like non-stop. And by non-stop, I mean now and then. I was crossing the street the other day, no joke. While I was crossing, one of my earbuds popped out. Had to think to myself, you know, hey, is this earbud worth possibly getting hit by a car turning left? The answer to that question is no, but luckily the street was not busy. Nobody was turning left. I picked it up real quick, we moved on, but it was like a wake-up call. The headphone cable is kind of like the dead man's trigger for the treadmill. You know, on a treadmill, if you've ever been on a treadmill, they have like a little clip that you're supposed to put on your shirt. And the point of it is that, you know, if you have a heart attack, or if you start to run too slow for the treadmill itself, it pulls out of the machine, which serves as like a power kill switch, you know, to make sure that you don't get injured. What it means in practice is that 900 times more often than actually preventing you injury, what it does is compromise your workout by pulling out when you just had a little bit too much of a bounce in your step. But I'm not going to say, you know, it's a bad idea. I think it's just one of those things that, like, you know, if you're a novice or if you're at risk of a heart condition, definitely use it. Otherwise, maybe use your own discretion. Maybe this is not fair, and it is a very young person's ignorant attitude. But, you know, when I was running a ton in 2014, almost all of it was on the treadmill. And in fact, it was only when I switched from the treadmill to running outside that I, you know, tore my meniscus within like a month. So I really, to be honest with you, wish I'd stuck with just doing it on the treadmill and not listen to everybody else that was like, oh, you gotta try running outside. After I've run outside, I can't run on the treadmill anymore. Yeah, after I ran outside, I couldn't run on the treadmill anymore either for a long time because I tore my meniscus. Anyway, they left out that part. Where was I going with this? I don't know. I got upset. When I found that the pace of the treadmill was too fast, simply pressed that little down arrow, pushed it down a little bit, took a little breather. I don't need a shirt clip to tell me about it, you know? My dad's not a phone. Duh. Anyway. I'm still getting used to this modern life, you know? Still getting used to downloading 75 gigabyte video games. Here, wait, once we get through this one, I'll let you know where we're at. I am so unconcerned about our HP right now. It's not a good look, but at the same time, like, come on. Please give me better choices. I would like to take a deal with the devil at some point. Luck upgrades, please. No keys to go to the shop, but let's see where we at here. 70 of 74.5 gigabytes have been completed. It's happening. Can we also point out that we're on the necropolis 8 minutes into the run? And we haven't really been rushing. Like, I'm not saying this is what we should expect from an average run, because that's just, like, patently absurd. But this is what happens when you get, like, that kind of swing in the early game. Everything goes so much faster. It's like, you know, getting an A+ on the first test you have to take in a high school or college class. It makes it so much easier for the rest of the class because you can always lean back, depending on its weight, on your previous successes, you know? Makes everything that much easier for you. This is not a very good metaphor. If anything, the reason the metaphor should work is because, you know, in classes where there's a cumulative amount of knowledge, trying hard at the front end of the class is very valuable because it gives you a good understanding of the foundational aspects of the subject, which really just makes it easier from that point onwards in the future. I mean, I took a Node.js class in the summer of 2018, and week 1's homework was to get used to using the command line interface to, you know, instantiate a Node.js project. And clearly many people did not do that homework. For the remainder of the course, there were questions every single class. People were like, I don't understand how to initiate this or how to create this project via the command line. Now, to be fair, I have also forgotten. But I did it at the time, okay? And that's what's important in some ways. Okay, this is a big moment for us. Secret room. Secret room. Fighting greed is beautiful here, and I have no qualms about it. And no DJ qualls either. You're going to give me access to the shop, where I can get starter deck, which is sick. Lover's card, not so much. We'll take this. I think we will take this as well. And it was definitely not worth it, but that's okay. The Yera, I'm kind of saving for a more, you know, robust use case. And the principal situation where that would be most... Wow, terrible. Where that would be most critical is definitely, like, the chest. But, you know, if we get a really nice shop, it's possible. Or if we find a bunch of... You know, red chests, even stone chests, you could maybe make a case. But if we get a bunch of red chests in particular, you know, pretty good odds to turn that into a guppy situation. I don't really want the money. I want to save the bomb. It's not... Oh, and I'm glad we did. It's not realistic to say that we're unkillable right now, but... I mean, you know where there's a line that follows this every single time. It's not realistic to say that we're unkillable, but we're very unlikely to be killed. If it really came down to it, we could always Guppy's Paw twice. We're also gonna, like, with 100% certainty, nearly, we're gonna get access to the boss rush. I mean, we're just in a beautiful situation here. I do feel, though, like, as I've gotten older, it's not that I've gotten angrier with technology. Like, some technology I am so on board with. The best piece of technology... Well, okay, that's not really fair for me to say. I was going to say the best piece of technology that's come out in my lifetime is blah. And you would be like, oh, really? Because I thought maybe synthetic insulin. Okay, sure. You know what? Synthetic insulin might be more... important than the backup camera. But the backup camera is actually... It's like a... In my opinion, there's no drawback from the consumer side of the backup camera. And except it... I don't know. If it doesn't come standard at this point, it does probably cost more. But I would rather have like a backup camera than air conditioning. Mind you, I live in Canada. And I live in a city, which, you know, influences that decision. But the number of places... that I've been able to park in, that I would not be comfortable parking in without the backup camera, is extraordinarily high. And I gotta tell you, I know how to back up an automobile. That was one of the things I practiced to a great degree for my own driving test. But, you know, there's some super tight spots on planet Earth. I'm gonna do it. I shouldn't do it. I'm gonna do it. I did it and I don't regret it at all. I really feel like it's revolutionized the ease of city driving. That, and I will say, we don't have this on our car, so I still have to parallel park. You might have, you know, a few years ago when we got our car, I was like, I would rather drive around for like 5 minutes than parallel park on a busy street. I just got over it, you know. I will parallel park on Vancouver's busiest streets now. And it's always, you get a little, I'm a fool. I'm a fool. You get a little bit of an adrenaline boost when you do it, but, you know, the vast majority of the time turns out totally fine. Hold on, we definitely do want both of these. But that's a great piece of technology. You might think I'm being a curmudgeon about all technology. There is your counter example. The backup camera. I recommend it to everybody. But I will say, as I get older, there are some things I become a little bit more curmudgeonly about. Windows is one of them. I used to think it was exclusively, you know, gray-bearded Linux developers who were frustrated with Windows. Now it's me as well, where I'm like, why are you forcing this update on me? I'm the end consumer. I'm learning. You're not, I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you. Sorry, everything has an I think you should leave quote that fits perfectly. I mean, this is going just stunningly right now. So whenever Windows is like, hey, do you want to update when you restart? And I'm like, no. And it's like, cool, I'm going to do it anyway. I just want to know where you stood. I'm like, you know, it doesn't have to be like this, Windows. This is another two of diamonds. It's like if it incepts what it's going to be, it's just going to keep giving you that forever. Which ruled for us right there. We could have just gotten lucky, but, I mean, come on. Come on. Anyway. And that's where I'm kind of in the middle of the Bluetooth headphone setup, okay? I recognize the convenience. I think they do come with a little bit of inconvenience as well. I think they're very easy to lose. Especially like Bluetooth earbuds. I mean, once you lose one of those, in my head, I'm like, cat probably swallowed it. We'll never see it again. It'll pop up in another life when we are both cats. Name that film. That's right. Vanilla Sky. Possibly my favorite Rotten movie. I'm not being insincere. You're being insincere. And rude, honestly. I was very into the Cameron Crowe films for a while. Even the ones that... Well, let me put it this way. I think when you're a... I saw Vanilla Sky when I was like 14 years old. I've seen the Spanish original, by the way. Just in case you were questioning my indie cred. It's called Abre los Ojos. But, I saw it when I was like 13 or 14 years old. I think you have a very limited pretentiousness filter at that age. If you see something that is intellectually ambitious, emotionally, thematically ambitious, if it strikes you right for the rest of your life, you're like, oh, that was good and everybody else was wrong. I respect that I'm probably wrong about Vanilla Sky, but because I saw it at a formative age, in my head, I'm like, yo, that movie made some brave choices, dude. Oh, I was gonna say both good, but that's a lie. One of them is very good, though. That's how I feel about, you guys seen Darren Aronofsky's film, The Fountain? I like most Darren Aronofsky films. Pi, wait, I'm trying to think. What other ones have I seen? Have I just seen Pi and The Fountain? I haven't seen Requiem for a Dream, or I haven't seen it in a long time. I can't quite remember. It did come out in a year when I watched the movie channel a lot. But either way, I think we do want to peep the curse room. Either way, You know, I respect what he's going for, but I saw the fountain when my pretentiousness filter was fully developed, and I went, this is garbage. You really swung for the fences, but I don't think that you should have. But a lot of people are like, and I think, I'm not saying it's exclusive, like there's room for difference of opinion, but I think a lot of people are like, you know, it's actually beautiful and you don't understand it, and I'm like, no, I do. I just saw it when I was 18 and you saw it when you were 14, so our conversation will be forever clouded by that fact. I admit that's a very dismissive way to speak to people, which is why I only do so anonymously online. I'm not trying to get my butt kicked out here. Spanking my bare butt, balls, and back. Every quote is just from I think you should leave. That's all you need to know, okay? It's a great show. If you haven't seen it 4 or 5 times yet, I really recommend it. Is it better than 90 Day Fiancé? It is. It is. It pained me to say it, as I'm sure you could tell from the tone of my voice, but it is better than 90 Day Fiancé. It's more artful, for certain. So, this is a big moment. I feel like the run is still obviously better than fine, but man oh man, I would love to get another guppy item or just something offensively amazing. We've been dealing with the same damage more or less for quite some time. That's okay. But not a marked improvement this late in the game, without a doubt. Anyway, it's all good. We're going to be okay. We're possibly also going to set a new record for the longest time we've held a single rune. It's approaching ridiculous hours. Don't screw this up. It's worth it. It's worth going for it. It was not worth going for it. But, you know, like, we have no consequence to trying to make Death's List work. Because we have so much HP in reserve. I can't believe we got it after all that struggle to get it to work on other rooms. We got Death's List to work on a room where all we had to do was hit a button, and it gave us a full damage upgrade. Okay, so maybe one of the Wall Masters is first killed? Nope. Is it you? It was you, but I think I screwed it up regardless. Not necessary. Got him. Careful. Got him. You gotta be surgical. We screwed it up. This one. Not in a million years. Honestly, I love Dry Baby. Dry Baby is in the Isaac Hall of Fame for several train wreck runs in which it's actually given us a chance of victory, if not fully gotten us there. But it is making Death's List real tricky. Especially in a room full of tiny enemies. Honestly, I don't think we want the red chest this close to the womb. How does that happen, dude? Did you see the dodge though? It was a sick dodge. If you didn't see the dodge, please go back and pay attention to it. I told you. I told you I still had it. Many people doubted whether or not NL still got some level of Isaac skill. How? Oh, you just had to pop up. Okay. I told you it's still there. Okay. Dream scenario? Yeah, maybe we'll just kill Mom's Heart before we kill any of the minions. Not impossible, but impossible with this run, which is still very good. Anyway. Deal with the devil? No deal with the devil. Okay, well, then my personal dream scenario doesn't really matter that much, does it? We'll just be moving on. But I can't complain at all. This has been a very nice run. Of course, who doesn't love a run where this comes to pass? But how can you not love... It's okay. We got a huge Tears upgrade. How can you not love a run that starts with, like, room 1 giving you a huge damage and survivability increase? Plus, I think... have we really been holding the Yara rune since floor 1? It's been a while. That much is for certain. I don't want to use too many keys, because we have a... you know, we have a vested interest in maintaining at least 8 of them. It's another damage upgrade. It's alright. Oh, we killed the fly, so we ruined Death's List. Look, okay, this is gonna sound negative. I don't mean for it to be super negative. I like the concept of Death's List as an item. There are many situations, let me rephrase. There are many situations where it becomes clear that Death's List was added to the game after the game already existed, because so many rooms are actually functionally impossible. I don't mean unlikely. I mean, like, literally some rooms have an impossible Death's List attached to them. Which is fine, you know, the part of the game is the fact that it's so, you know, varied. And it's kind of designed by randomness, rather than being bespoke designed in all circumstances. However, when you really need it in a pinch, it can be frustrating. But to be fair, we don't need it in a pinch at all. Yeah, I think you should leave. It's okay, the cops said they're not real people, kind of. They weren't even supposed to be around in the area. Well, I'm happy that, you know, it's been 2 days of relatively robust Isaac recordings. I'm happy that after the real badness of yesterday, where we lost 3 runs in a single video, which is hilarious but also soul-crushing, we came back with what I would describe as a pretty solid performance today. Feels good, man. And thank you for the incredible range upgrade. Now, don't screw this part up. This is a moment. You got to give him one of those. We waited a long time for that. So, we should never do this, but I'm obviously gonna. I'm gonna reroll the whole shebang, dude. Absolutely. Send me. We got Mom Transformation. And we got Mom's Knife. Alright, Hermit me, please. Time will tell. Okay, turns out, this run, still very good. Does not seem likely we will face consequences for our brazen actions. Which is the dream. Why do we always reroll into Curse of the Tower, though? It's like Curse of the Tower is... it's like compulsory with the reroll. We are going to get one more, too. And if you're not a coward, and as I've told you many times, I'm not a coward, despite the way my actions and words would gaslight me into you believing that I was, we're going to reroll our whole run one more time. See where we stand. Yo, we got Dark Prince's Crown to work. Yo, we got a cool little brimstone set up here with an incubus on to boot. Yo. Dude, the sprinkler is killing it. That was a cool end. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!